getting scrambled eggs when you go vegan, think again. There's an absolutely cruelty-free, delicious alternative, which is tofu scramble. Today I'm going to show you how to make an awesome version of it. I always make tofu scramble at home. I've been vegan for several years and I've had a lot of tofu scramble in my time as vegan at all different restaurants and everything, and I actually prefer the one I make at home the best. So I highly encourage you guys to try this out. And what it involves is tofu as the main ingredient, of course, and then the other kind of key ingredient that I use is this island soyaki, which you can find it at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, a lot of other markets. You don't have to get that kind. There's also other brands of it, but it's basically a soyaki, islandy, teriyaki type thing with a little extra ingredients in there. So that is like the ideal perfect combination of flavors to include in your tofu scramble. But if you can't find that, you can always just use soy sauce and teriyaki and then add some other spices in there. I'm also gonna season this with a little bit of red chili peppers if you like a spicy kick, and turmeric for color. This is key for turning your tofu scramble yellow so it looks exactly like eggs. So this was just from our local market. You can find turmeric almost anywhere. It's this bright yellow color, yellowy orange, but it ends up looking yellow when you mix it with the tofu. So that will make it look like an egg scramble. What we're also going to include today is tofurkey slices. These are kind of an Italian flavor, so they work great in just spaghetti sauces instead of sausage. But today we're going to chop them up and put them in our tofu scramble for a little extra kick. We're going to add some baby spinach. It's the healthy ingredient. And then we are going to top it with some Daiya cheese, which is going to be melted on top. So let's get started. I do want to mention that the type of tofu you get, I found, is very important. They kind of have two main different types. One that comes in a little tub that's filled with water, and those are generally a little softer. Even if they say extra firm, it's a totally different consistency, I found. So these kind of airtight wrapped packages of very firm, you can feel it, tofu, they have a ton of different varieties, but this kind of packaging, this is what I generally like to use. Definitely go with extra firm, or these are called super firm, just very firm, and then we're gonna be able to crumble it up and it'll have that tougher egg chewy consistency. So I turned the stove on to a medium heat, and I added a little bit of olive oil just to coat the pan. And the first step is optional. If you want to include onions, you can. If you don't have to. But I just cut up some onions that I'm going to put in there first. You know that the oil is hot enough and that it's ready to dump your food into when it kind of sizzles when you drop it in. So this is totally ready, and I'm going to go ahead and drop my onion in. Once your onions become translucent, which they are now, you're ready to go ahead and add your next ingredient. And for us, that is the tofu. So I've gone ahead and taken the tofu out of the package. I've kind of patted it down and drained it the best I could using a paper towel and over the sink. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna crumble this into our pan. So I usually break it in half and just start crumbling it, squishing it with my fingers into the pan. Okay, so our tofu is in there, and the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our island soyaki sauce. So shake it up really well and pour that over. You want to get a really generous amount here. So that island soyaki, if you're going to use that, it already turns the tofu scramble a little bit yellow. But we're going to go ahead and add our turmeric, which you'll see will turn it kind of a bright, eggy yellow. The beauty of this tofu scramble is that it's a really imprecise art. There's not specific quantities of the soyaki that I use or the spices, but I pretty much just keep adding it whenever it needs more liquid, and I taste as I go. And now we're about ready to add the tofurkey sausage. So we're just gonna go ahead and dump that in. I just use one sausage in there out of the package of 4, but you can of course use as many as you like. And since this looks like it's almost done, I'm going to go ahead and add the spinach as well. But you do want to add this just a minute or 2 minutes at most before you're ready to eat it, because they just start wilting and they, get in there really fast. I'm going to put a generous amount on there. So we just finished the tofu scramble and we went ahead and presented it on a plate with some toast and some fruit to garnish it. We just sprinkled some Daiya cheese on top. I recommend putting the Daiya cheese on while it's still in the pan so that you can make sure that it gets nice and melty. But I am going ahead and gonna serve it up to my parents and my boyfriend Dan. We'll see what they think of it.